All right, let me tell you something that's going to sound backwards at first. But stay with me, because once you understand this, you're going to see every interaction with a woman completely differently. The less you need her attention, the more she needs yours. Not because of games, not because of manipulation, but because of something deep in human psychology that most guys have completely backwards their entire lives. Let's get into it. You ever notice that the guy who seems totally unbothered, the one who doesn't chase, doesn't panic, doesn't react to every shift in her mood, is always the one she can't stop thinking about? While the guy doing everything right, texting first, being available, showing how much he cares, somehow keeps getting less and less of her attention. That's not a coincidence. That's biology. See, the human brain is wired to chase what it can't fully have. It's called the scarcity principle, and it works on everyone, but it works especially powerfully in romantic attraction. When something feels slightly out of reach, the brain doesn't say, forget it. It says, I want that more. And here's the problem with most guys. The second they're interested in a woman, they eliminate all scarcity. They become completely available, completely transparent, completely readable. And what feels to them like showing love actually feels to her like losing the chase. And when the chase disappears, so does the pull. Now, let me be clear about something, because this gets misunderstood all the time. Emotional indifference doesn't mean being cold. It doesn't mean ignoring her. It doesn't mean pretending you don't care when you do. That's not indifference. That's just a performance, and she'll see through it in about 5 minutes. Real emotional indifference is something much more powerful. It means your emotional state is not controlled by hers. It means when she goes cold, you don't panic. When she pulls back slightly, you don't chase. When she tests you with a provocative comment, you don't react like a man whose entire self-worth is on the line. You stay grounded. You stay calm. You stay you. And that stability, that quiet refusal to be destabilized by her emotional shifts, is what triggers something ancient in her brain, something she can't logic her way out of, something that makes her think about you when she's trying not to. Here's the psychology behind it, and pay attention because this is the part most guys never hear. Women are biologically wired to feel safe with a man who cannot be easily rattled. Think about it from an evolutionary standpoint. A man who falls apart emotionally at the first sign of tension, who needs constant reassurance, who becomes desperate when she pulls back, that man signals weakness, instability, unreliability. But a man who stays centered, who doesn't collapse under emotional pressure, who can hold his ground without aggression, without neediness, without anxiety, that man signals something very different. He signals strength, safety, the kind of stability that says, I will not fall apart when things get hard. And that signal, that calm, unshakable presence, bypasses her rational mind completely. She doesn't decide to be attracted to it, she just is, because her nervous system recognizes it before her brain even processes it. That's not manipulation, that's just understanding how human beings actually work. Number 1, stop reacting to her mood like it's your emergency. This is the big one. Most guys, the second a woman goes quiet, goes cold, seems slightly off, they go into fix-it mode immediately. What's wrong? Did I do something? Are you okay? Are we okay? And what feels like care to you feels like pressure to her. It feels like you need her to be okay so that you can be okay. And that emotional dependency is exhausting to be around. Here's the move. When her mood shifts, stay neutral. Stay warm, but unbothered. Say something simple like, you seem a bit quiet today. All good? And then let it breathe. Don't follow up. Don't probe. Don't make it your crisis, because it isn't. When she sees that her emotional state doesn't send you into a spiral, that you're stable regardless of what she's doing, she starts to feel something shift. A man who doesn't need her to perform emotionally for him is a man she can actually relax around. And relaxation leads to trust, and trust leads to deeper attraction. Number 2, have opinions and hold them. Here's something that ties directly into emotional indifference.
A man who agrees with everything, who changes his position every time she pushes back, who shapes himself around what he thinks she wants to hear, that man is emotionally dependent on her approval, and she feels it every time. When you hold your ground, when you say, "I see it differently," and stay there calmly without needing her to agree, you're demonstrating something crucial, that your sense of self doesn't depend on her validation, that you exist independently of her reaction to you. That independence is magnetic because she can push on you and you don't move, not aggressively, just solidly, like a wall that doesn't react to being touched. And that solidity makes her feel something she doesn't fully understand, a pull toward the thing that cannot be easily moved. Number 3, be genuinely interested in your own life. This is the one that makes emotional indifference completely natural instead of something you have to perform. When you have a life that genuinely matters to you, goals you're building towards, friendships that fulfill you, work that challenges you, a body you're investing in, your attention becomes genuinely scarce, not strategically, actually. You're not playing hard to get, you're actually hard to get because you're busy being someone. And when your attention is scarce, it becomes valuable. When she gets it, she feels it. When she doesn't, she notices the absence. And that noticing, that awareness of when you're present versus when you're focused elsewhere, creates exactly the kind of dynamic that keeps attraction alive long term. A man chasing her attention has nothing else to offer. A man who barely has time to give his attention, that's a man she'll work to keep. Number 4, don't perform emotions you don't feel. This one is subtle but deadly important. A lot of guys, when they learn about emotional indifference, swing the other way and start pretending they don't care about anything. They act cold, they act indistricated, they put on a performance of not caring. And she sees it instantly because performed indifference has a flavor. It's tense, it's slightly forced. It has the energy of a man who is trying very hard to seem like he's not trying. Real indifference is effortless. It's just a man who is so rooted in himself that external approval, even from her, doesn't change his internal state. He can be warm and engaged and present without being needy. He can care without being attached to the outcome of that caring. That combination, warmth without neediness, presence without desperation, is one of the rarest things a man can offer. And when she finds it, she doesn't let it go easily. And the last one, this is the one most guys completely miss. The moment you stop needing her to respond a certain way, to text back fast, to validate your effort, to reciprocate your energy immediately, you become the most attractive version of yourself. Because that non-attachment, that genuine okayness with however she responds, radiates a kind of confidence that no gym, no money, no status can fully replicate. It's the confidence of a man who knows his value doesn't depend on her recognition of it. And when she senses that, when she feels a man who is completely fine with or without her approval, something in her shifts, something deep, something biological. She stops taking your attention for granted. She starts wondering what it would take to really get it. She starts investing. She starts chasing, in her own quiet way, the man who doesn't seem to need to be chased. That's not a trick. That's just what happens when a man finally stops handing his emotional power away. Look, if you recognized yourself anywhere in this video, if you've been the guy who reacts, who chases, who reshapes himself to keep her comfortable, that awareness right there is the beginning of the shift. You don't change overnight, but you start with one thing. Next time she shifts her energy, stay grounded, stay warm, stay you, and watch what happens. Drop a comment. Have you ever lost someone by needing their approval too much? I read every single one. And if you want to go deeper on building this kind of presence from the inside out, go watch the video on why some men are completely irresistible without even trying. That's exactly where you go next. See you there.